But how are you going to blame officials whenever you're really going to blame the officials, Lincoln? You get, almost 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns out of Caleb Williams. He on the ground, he adds another 57 yards on the ground. Jordan Addison's getting his way. Mario Williams getting his way. That you got to find a way to win this game. But this is what Lincoln does too. Now, granted, they're running their speed D deal, which I guess that's kind of what USC has, but they're under the impression, these fans from USC that love to be on Twitter and talking about, oh yeah, I can't wait till they get a little bigger on that defensive line. That's not really how they recruit. So, Oklahoma fan, the other great thing about Saturday was the Saturday night special. Lincoln Riley falls on his sword at Utah. They get out to a lead as well and find a way to blow it. Squander 300 and let me find this game. They squandered 381 passing yards with 5 touchdowns by Caleb Williams. After jumping out to a 28-21, well, at one point they were up 21-7 in the game, and it started to look like they were going to get away with it. And then Utah cut it to 28-21 at the half, and then outscored them in that fourth quarter. They only had 14 in the entire second half, and then Utah had 22 in the second half. So the last one being, huge game by Cameron Rising. I'll tell you, I've been saying this a lot, but that team at Utah and with that coach, these guys just seem to get things done. And what a just amazing game there. And then of course, Lincoln Riley's complaining about the officiating. Yeah. Listen, man, I watched that game and if there was some bad calls, it was going both ways for sure. But how are you going to blame officials whenever you're really going to blame the officials, Lincoln? You get, almost 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns out of Caleb Williams. He on the ground, he adds another 57 yards on the ground. Jordan Addison's getting his way. Mario Williams getting his way. That you got to find a way to win this game. But this is what Lincoln does too. Now, granted, they're running their speed D deal, which I guess that's kind of what USC has, but they're under the impression, these fans from USC that love to be on Twitter and talking about, oh yeah, I can't wait till they get a little bigger on that defensive line. That's not really how they recruit. So good luck with that. But you're going to have to, for them to do anything, they're going to just have to outshoot everybody. And with Dan Lanning in Oregon, I really don't see that happening that much because they're going to get big on that line, on the defensive line, and they might be too big for him now. Cristobal wasn't shy about that either as the head coach at Oregon. And on top of that now you've got Utah has the tiebreaker in the case that because they both have one conference loss. So what'll have to happen, they're going to have to beat UCLA. They don't play Oregon during the regular season. They're going to have to beat UCLA. UCLA is undefeated. They're still undefeated, and they beat Utah a week ago. So, the tiebreaker would go to Utah as it stands. And I don't know that there's anything that can be done for the Trojans. I don't know that they're going to make the Pac-12 title game. it's a big loss, man. It's a big loss for him. And, I'm not going to sit here and troll Caleb Williams for the crying stuff after the game. He was emotional. This is a guy that, again, I don't blame the guy for leaving with Lincoln. He recruited him. He's put 2 guys into the Heisman and with number 1 picks. Had another. Jalen Hurts after his year with Lincoln goes in the first round, late first round. They're 6-0 after last night beating the Cowboys. He's had a good year. He throws the ball better than he used to. But look, man, how do you blame him? How do you blame Caleb for going? And you know what? Whatever his dad was and whatever he said, I don't want to hear all that stuff. Then that was a lot of that stuff that was Mike Farrell lying about what he read in that freaking paper. It's not what was going on. That's not what was said. He was saying he didn't like what was said after the fact on Twitter and places like that. Come on, OU fans, that's what happens. But look, he doesn't owe anything to Oklahoma. Caleb doesn't. He followed the coach that recruited him originally, and he had an amazing season a year ago. He orchestrated the biggest comeback in Red River history over to beat Texas. Great. He had a call for the Heisman last year. Had Lincoln played him instead of Spencer earlier, he probably wins it. But he stays around, plays in the bowl game, leads them to a victory in that. He was nothing but classy. I don't know what all happened with the recruiting stuff and between him and Venables and stuff, but how could you expect him to stay? He doesn't owe Oklahoma or Oklahoma fans a thing. So was I glad they lost? Absolutely. But he balled out. So the people that are being ugly about him and stuff like that, which whatever, man, that's on you. And he's a kid. And he made the decision for himself, and I'm not hating on him for it. Lincoln, on the other hand, fuck Lincoln. But no, he got what he deserved, and he was, I wish I'd have seen him cry instead. Hey, folks, Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame, College Football Podcast. And if you'd like to help support our show, we have a fabulous way for you to do so. We have teamed up with the #1 team merchandise retailer in the world, Fanatics. That's right, Fanatics. Now, the next time you need a new hat for your favorite team, shirt, even memorabilia, all you have to do is go to our website first, hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. At the bottom of the page, there is a blue Fanatics logo. You click on it, then shop as normal. You're going to get up to 65% off everything in the store, and we get a small commission for everything you purchase. It's a win-win. So again, hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. You help the show and save a bunch by doing so. It's a win-win situation, and we get to continue bringing you fabulous content week after week.
Nobody knows, and that's the problem. Okay, the question is, man, is he down? Man, is it targeting? So they said they were only reviewing the targeting. The fact of the matter, it looked like his knee was down, but again, I'm sure it's like anything else. We'll get no clarification.
Oh, Matt Campbell. little irritated there, is he? Listen, we're going to take a look at that as well here in just a second. Quinn Ewers goes 17-26 for 172, but 3 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson has 228 rushes, 135 yards. And Texas hangs on for its 3rd straight victory since opening Big 12 conference play with a loss on the road at Texas Tech. Avoiding a possible, what looked like a targeting call to Matt Campbell. He was out on the field pretty upset about it. 24-21 win for the Longhorns, though. That's 3 straight wins following that defeat, obviously, to Texas Tech to start off. Ewers it's been big for him coming back, obviously, for the Longhorns. He was 17 and 26 in the game. Didn't have a ton of yardage there. Probably taking what he's given them, but it appears that, obviously Bijan had 28 rush attempts, so they were feeding them. And listen, for Texas, that's their first win. They lost 3 straight to Iowa State leading into this game. So that's a big win for Sark. That's a big win for Quinn Ewers. He's proving that that's who they need. Now, let's get to this, though, a little bit about, is this a targeting play? And on top of that, we can go back and also take a look at the the knee down situation, which is what Campbell was talking. And he stuck his head in there, bro. It's going to slow it down. Okay, look at where his knee is, though, too. Looks like his knee is down before the ball comes out. They're saying it in the booth. I did not watch this game live, so I'm not going to sit here and say, that it for sure was. But let's just take a look. Let's, coming in, drops. Look at this. Boom. Head. And, okay, his knee is down. The ball has not come out yet. In fact, both knees are down. But how is this not targeting? So they get away with one. They get away with one there. And as you saw earlier, the one right before that, you had tough. It's a tough go of it for those guys, and you got to say that. The one thing I'll say is, Matt, and then they got to find a way to win that one. It shouldn't have even got to that point where he had to make that run, because you had right before that, you had the dropped ball. Let's see. Texas. Oh, there it is. Yep. So 24-21, they go to 5-2 on the season. Their only losses coming to obviously Tech and then Alabama when Ewers got hurt. This Texas team, they're back in the mix for. And here's what we were just talking about in the last segment. You've got Oklahoma State, who just lost a game that they had that they could have afforded the Texas loss if they were to lose this week, because they beat TCU down. So they would have had a tiebreaker with them or whatever, as long as, you know what I mean? They may end up playing TCU again that way. Now they have to win this game. And when you got to win a game, that's what they don't do. And you still got to get through the rest of your schedule, which includes Kansas State, which includes Oklahoma. Sorry, but I don't trust you. To me, I assume that they're not going to get it done. Hunter Deckers goes 25-36. He has 329, 2-1. And Ewers, of course, 3 touchdowns, 172. Texas had 191 yards on the ground. Iowa State, they did not run the ball as well. So that's one thing that Texas is doing a lot better as well. The one thing that, if you listen to Gundy in the last segment, their rushing game wasn't good. Well, it's probably not going to be much better now that you have Patterson calling the defense there, or, got the defense set up to be more successful, particularly stopping the run. You didn't see Alabama run the ball very well against them, but Deckers is the real deal. Listen, bottom line is, whether or not they called that, they didn't call it, so it's not going to matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. Now it's up to Texas to find a way to. They still haven't shown that they can play very well on the road. It's time for them to find a way to do so. You're at a point now that's what you have to do. So this is a big game for them. But right now, this is two teams that they just hadn't really shown up well in big games lately, or over the past few years. And I'll say it again about Oklahoma State. They just come up small. That's just what they do. But when you've got, and to me, yours is the real deal. Spencer Sanders, he can run. I don't know if you're going to be able to run against this defense. You better throw better. But we'll see. Anyway, look, yours is, he had 2 touchdowns to Xavier Worthy, one of them to Jordan Whittington. And out of his 3 TD passes, his first-year quarterback continues to bolster the job security of Steve Sarkisian. They get this win against Oklahoma State this weekend. It could be big. And, as I said earlier, that was the one thing that kept it from being a perfect day was the Texas deal. Had they called that targeting, then you get, they're getting pretty close down to the goal line anyway. But, of course, you had a drop pass. They could have gotten in there anyway. Iowa State needs to find a way to win that game too. But I tell you what, and it's something I saw from the guy from Big 12 country on Twitter the other day. He was like, we'd lost that game any other time, in the past. And I agree. Those are the games that Texas has been losing. They lost that kind of game, having a 10-point lead in the second half against Tech this year. So it's important. But, obviously this is the same thing that Oklahoma State does. So we're going to find out. So one of these two is going to separate themselves. The other one's probably out of the race. If Texas loses, they're for sure almost definitely out of the race. It doesn't look good for it was definitely a missed opportunity for Oklahoma State. They had a chance to really pretty much put themselves in the driver's seat for at least the championship game, and then we would have had to figure out what they do then. But to me, I think that this is the time. If I'm going to pick Texas at any point, it would be this weekend, because this is just what little brother does. Again, good game by them. Then let's see. Let's go into the rest of what we had to talk about. Hey, listen. Then let's kind of finish it off talking about this. The greatest game I've seen all. It's the best game I've seen this season. Yeah, Tennessee Vols and Josh Heupel, former Oklahoma quarterback, national title winner in 2000, and then later co-offensive coordinator under Bob Stoops, who got fired by Bob Stoops, but went on to great success at UCF. Now in his second season at the helm in Knoxville, and comes up with a monster win, knocks off Alabama. It's the first time in 16. This is the first time in 16 seasons that Tennessee's beaten Alabama. 15 straight losses. They didn't have Twitter the last time the Vols beat Alabama, and you're getting a lot of this talk about coming out of. I don't know that it's coming a whole lot out of Alabama or the program itself. You're getting a lot of bitching, though, about the 17 penalties called on Alabama. They didn't play well. And it took all of that, too, for them to lose it. But honestly, what an amazing game by Hendon Hooker. I think he may have won himself the Heisman. If they continue playing like they are now, if they continue and I guess coming up next, I believe they've got, I want to check that real quick, but all right. So just Hendon Hooker goes 21 of 30, 385 yards, 5 touchdowns and an interception. But 5 touchdowns to this guy. Hyatt was uncoverable. You let one guy score 5 touchdowns. That does not sound like does that sound like an Alabama defense to anyone here? This is not something, they're not going to let one guy get them. They did. That guy went off 6 receptions, 207 yards, 5 touchdowns. All 5 touchdowns by Hendon Hooker go to Hyatt. But I tell you, the defending Heisman champion, sound like a freaking Oklahoma State guy. The defending Heisman winner, Bryce Young also has a monster game, and he came in hurt, got banged up. He kept getting hit. They were bringing pressure all night. Stands in the pocket and goes for 455 yards on 35 of 52, just 2 touchdowns. But of course they had Gibbs that had 3 rushing touchdowns as well. I mean, what a football game! What a football game! And every time it looked like one of them was going to pull away, the other one would pull off a play. And but Hooker, and that was the other thing, is that they could have won the game, or pretty much had it won. Down, they're going for it on a 4th down. You get a pass interference call down there. The ball was underthrown a little bit, but it allowed the receiver to kind of get bumped into. Caroms off of the receiver's hands, gets intercepted, but they call an interference. They get another shot. They score on the next play. Great football game. Great football game, man. Something else. It was just something. But, big game there. I mean, and for Josh Heupel, man, I mean, good for him, man. If you're in any of us guys, I mean, listen, I'm not one of the – here's the one thing that you got to say about Heupel. I agree with a lot of people that this should have never happened. He should not have been fired. It should have been Mike Stoops because he made him change his offense to suit Mike's defense, to help it out or whatever. They do that. They're fine on offense. It's defense that was hurting them too. But he goes away. That being said, and it's a shame that I think that that's a big problem for Heupel. I don't know how much he said he hasn't had a word to say, or they haven't spoken at all. Him and Bob Stoops have not spoken since. That's a shame, but big game. But he was awfully excited. I'm going to pull up that movie that video of him. Oh, here it is. Big time game and big time win, for that program. They're the real deal. You kind of wondered the other day if after beating LSU, are they the real deal? They are. I mean, I think that there's no doubt about it now.
All right, Coach. Hey, how much fun is this?
Man, Rocky Top. This is college football at its absolute best. Our team competed 60 minutes. These fans phenomenal. What an environment, man.
This is the first win after the last 15 years. What does this one mean?
Hey, it's about this team. It's our former players and fans. You know what this means? Everybody's lighting a cigar tonight.
She got him a cigar. So, yeah, big win for them as well. Folks, if you please hit that subscriber button. We really, really, really need subscribers. We are over our watch hours. I mean, we're definitely picking up viewers. We need you to hit that button. Hit that button for us. That helps us continue to bring you amazing content week after week. We'd appreciate that. Obviously, if you would like to help out the show as far as helping support the show, you can do that. As you've heard all day, you can do that by buying the gear that you're going to buy anyway. The next time you need an OU jersey, the next time you need a Baylor jersey, the next time, whatever it is, if your baseball team is still in it right now, hey, World Series coming up, whatever sport it is that you're following, professional or college, go on to Fanatics. This is the #1 team merchandise retailer in the world. We are partnered up with them. All you got to do is hit our website and you're going to get amazing deals. hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. Click that logo at the bottom of the page. Shop as normal. We'll get a small commission for doing it. Everything you buy, we'll get a small commission for by going through our link. You get up to 65% off everything in the store. So check it out. Again, hofmedia.us/fanatics. Also, folks, get in that information for your NIL collectives. Everybody in the Big 12, we want to promote you. We will put everything on our website. We'll put everything on our videos on our weekly videos that recapping everything that happened in the Big 12. So hit that. It's NIL Verify at hofmedia.us is the email. That's also in the description below. Do that. We'll make sure that we get that out there to try to help raise some of this money for these student athletes. It's important to us. Even the teams we don't like, we want to help. So Okie State, please do step on in. We will help out with your collective as well. Folks, I appreciate everybody coming in. We'll see you on the next one.